Did.
Try again. Yes, no?
Well,
Can you hear
you're
it over
not
there?
out there.
No, I know.
We just
I
relogged
just
in.
restarted it again.
Can you hear us?
Griffin says it's working.
Oh, it is working.
Oh.
Griffin can hear it. All right, yay. Okay.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties here at the admin building. Go ahead, Annie.
Okay. Online, we have Grace Christian, Cheryl Hartman, Chris Lounsbury, Christina DeVar, Alicia Beckholtz, Erica Berglund, who's also in the room, Griffin Smith, Lauren Ryan, MCAT, and Lisa Fisher in 206. We have Commissioner Slotnick and Strohmeyer. Ann Hughes is here, but she's not here. Brian West, Allison Franz, Annie Kathy, Maddie Scott, Erica Berglund again. Hi, Erica. And we have Brenna Davis, Harry Powers. That's it. Got it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Annie. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we have a consent agenda today with 9 items. Any questions on the consent agenda?
There was nothing in there unless there's, you want to talk green power program and all? We're good.
We're good.
I would move we pass this consent agenda.
I will second that. Any further discussion or comment on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay, we move on to the action items and the ever controversial memorandum for non-legal holiday office closures. Anyone want to say anything about this? Annie?
It's just our standard legal requirement. This is for the day after Thanksgiving. There are certain offices that are required to stay open, which are listed on the memorandum. Otherwise, the other offices, this is authorizing them to close for the day.
Okay. Well, very good. What do you think about
I
this,
think we
Josh?
should get this done.
Okay, I'll second that motion. Any further discussion or comment regarding this memorandum? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay, close up shop. Let's see, our next and the second and final action item today is brought to us by Maddie. This relates to the Fair Event Committee.
Yes, I realized we just actually did this a month ago as well, but unfortunately Harley had to step down. His job moved him out of state. So we're asking that Debbie, the alternate that we appointed a month ago, get moved up to the active member seat.
Great, glad we got her appointed.
And will this mean that we then need to advertise for the alternate?
Yes, I am already working on it.
Awesome, all right, I would move that we appoint Debbie Bolton from alternate to active member on the Fair
I
Committee.
will second that. Any further discussion or comment on appointing Debbie? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay. We have no correspondence. We have one discussion item, the annual Food Policy Advisory Board update. And it's like we have the updater in our midst here.
Yes, I do have a couple slides. If I can find the right one. Always tricky. Thinking. All right, yes. Hi, everyone. Eric Berglund. Thanks for having me. Just here to give our annual update on what the Food Policy Advisory Board has been up to this past year. Let's see. So I won't go through everybody, but just as a reminder, we have a good diversity of folks on our board. We were shy a couple seats for a while, so we're really excited to have a full capacity right now, and we have representatives with food access, restaurants, ranching and agriculture, of course, someone who works at the Department of Ecology and Extension. So yeah, we're excited to have this group. One of the things that kind of jump-started 2024 was our third iteration of our rapid community food assessment survey. And you'll hear me use that term community food assessment later, and not to be confused, this effort is really in lieu of a big, broad community food assessment. and is really just kind of taking a snapshot and getting a pulse of how the community is engaging with our food system and areas they'd potentially like to see some change, and any areas that they're facing challenges or difficulties. So this 2024 version, we got about 300 county residents participating, which was a bit fewer than in previous years, but still a nice, a pretty decent sample size. It is a convenient sample, so we got it out through, neighborhood councils and community councils and through agriculture-related nonprofits and organizations. So keeping in mind it's not representative of the entire community, but again, a nice snapshot. So perhaps unsurprisingly, most of our respondents were from the city, but again, we got a nice spread, a decent spread throughout the county. And yeah, don't have time to get into those results. I have a whole nother presentation on that if you're interested on our findings, but just one quick finding on folks' top priority policy areas, one being protecting agricultural lands from development, and then second, increasing access to healthy food. That's kind of the two rising to the top.
How does this differ from prior surveys? The results.
I would say it's a good question. I don't have it top of mind, but I think the agricultural lands rising to the top is, I mean, they've always been a concern, but I'd say that is more present of mine or more salient than in previous years. And generally the healthy food access and local food access have been kind of at the top, all three surveys. But so, yeah, the agricultural lands, and then another slightly different question focused on agriculture specifically, sustainability and conservation of water and soil resources also came to the top. So I'd say more of the land use piece is rising to the top in this iteration. So on that, kind of using the survey as a jumping off point for our policy areas this year, we did focus on land use a bit. For example, weighing in and providing our support behind the request for the city to use open space bond funds to purchase the Corner Farm project property. We provided, recommendations on that. Economic development, we've been, for example, working with a professor at the UM College of Business, having his students use local ranching and some of the challenges that local ranchers face as a case study for coursework. And students have been really interested and excited in the topic. And so I think there are opportunities to continue growing student involvement on that. And then local food access and promotion. We've recently been looking into how where the county purchases food and kind of local procurement policies and ways we might incentivize or promote local or prioritize local purchases on that front. So we just, for example, took a tour of the county detention facility kitchen and got to speak with their kitchen manager, which was great. And we're really, having some cool conversations around that. Internally, we're looking to expand our capacity and support. So thanks to county and city funding, we did have 2 interns. I'll talk about that in a second this past spring, which helped our capacity. We're also, as you likely may know, becoming more tied to the Department of Ecology and Extension and kind of leveraging their capacity, which is awesome, very exciting. We work to expand our outreach through our newsletter and expanding our list of contacts through this last iteration of our survey. And then looking at clarifying and strengthening our role as a board. So I'll touch on that in a moment as well. So our spring interns, we had 2 graduate student interns last spring. One was kind of a partnership with Community Food and Agriculture Coalition, now Farm Connect Montana. And the other was kind of housed in Ecology and Extension and advised by the board. And these two interns were great, and they helped analyze and put out the survey. They helped dig into the most recent release of the USDA Census of Agriculture data, and what that has trends over the last 20 years for Missoula County and Montana in general. And then they've kind of helped us build some momentum or kind of help us build some evidence around why we might look into a new updated community food assessment for the county, and potentially using that as a way to jumpstart local food action plan or something of the sorts. So you'll be definitely hearing more about that in future, near future, hopefully. And yeah, looking at other examples of kind of what other local communities are doing around these efforts in Montana, that is. As I mentioned, one of our priorities last year was to not launch a newsletter. We've now gone through a full year of quarterly newsletters and are into our second volume, which is very exciting. And yeah, it's just been a fun way to hopefully expand our outreach and get some interesting local food stories out there. As I mentioned, and as you all likely know, we're building up our relationship with Ecology and Extension, which I think is just naturally, the transition with the department has really lent itself well to supporting our board more in a more focused way. So what that has looked like is we've moved our meetings to the Exploration Center, and have department staff regularly attending our meetings. So Bryce has been really involved and lending his support and leadership. And we have Chelsea Pascal in the department as our administrative support. And we do plan to engage the department or be part of the department's upcoming strategic planning effort so that our board is really tied in with staff and what they're doing. So it's really exciting. I think this is effectively how I see it is we've found a home for the board. And so that feels like a really exciting next step. So, so with that next steps, we do have an upcoming board vote on a new resolution that Bryce and Kyla have drafted for us to effectively, we see it as streamlining the structure of the board, but it would remove the city's administrative support of the board and basically make it so the county is the one appointing members, because it has been challenging with all the transitions that both city and county has gone through to get a fully stocked board. And having to, make decisions that go through both entities can be challenging. So we're excited to as we're building this relationship with Ecology and Extension to kind of streamline things. So you can expect to hear more about that resolution soon. And as I mentioned, we are working on building out a robust recommendation for an updated community food assessment that will then hopefully lead into some sort of local food action planning effort. The board, we just formed an ad hoc working group. We have been in conversation with a few folks, for example, Margiana Peterson-Rockney in the Environmental Studies program has expressed support for that project should it move forward, and that her students would be able to lend their capacity to that effort. And on that note, we are also partnering with her class and the department on a student exhibit in December that will be happening at the Exploration Center. They'll be presenting their final projects that are focused on the local food system in the county. And they'll be hosting a local food panel that I'll be moderating on December 4th. And as I mentioned, yeah, we're continuing to look at what local food procurement at the county level looks like and where we might have some inroads. So that was a lot. Thank you all for listening.
Going to be on the panel.
Bonnie from Farm Connect, Dave Prather, from Western Montana Growers Co-op. And the third one is evading me at the moment. I'm trying to, I don't remember who is the last panelist, but yeah.
That's all good stuff.
Super
Any
great.
questions or comments from anyone?
Just, you kind of nailed it about finding a home.
Mm.
It took a lot of energy to get this thing out into the world and then it gets like.
Limp along a little, yeah.
And it's taken a while, but you're there. It's really great. And I want to note in this semi-public setting that I believe without Erica, this wouldn't have happened. This board really needed some leadership, and I could sit there and play a role, but it wasn't mine to do. It was yours, and you did a great job.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Yeah, it is, like I said, just a really exciting time, and I'm looking forward to the future of the board and working really close.
Great fit.
Yeah, yeah.
Site, it all just makes tons of sense.
Yeah.
We're in a good spot. And I think leaving the city is an act of evolution. Helped get this thing out there. This is the next step.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you all for the support and helping make that happen.
Yeah, I really look forward to what comes next. Big things, we hope.
Anyone online have questions or comments?
I'm not online, but I just have a question for you, Erica. You said you had been, you have the newsletter going, and I'm
Yes.
just wondering how you're distributing that.
Right now, it's been kind of reflective of the board's trajectory, but it has been just going out through like a MailChimp kind of independently. But now that we are looping in with the Department of Ecology and Extension, we are hoping to have it be on the website and kind of more integrated into the normal newsletter format.
Tie in with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we'll want to connect with you on that too, for sure.
Instantly magnify.
Oh, hugely, yeah, because right now it's just folks who basically took the survey who have
Right.
provided their email address. So yeah, we would love to think of it.
I'll grab your
Opt-in version. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Allison. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bryce
Thanks, Erica.
Bryce has his hand up.
Oh, Bryce.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I just wanted to add that Ecology and Extension is just as excited to have this board come in and support staff. Staff is excited for potential opportunities to collaborate on programming and just extend the reach of their programming into like kind of a meaningful structure that this board can kind of advise towards priorities within the community, and then extend the reach, whether it's the newsletters or some of this assessment stuff, into just the crazy amount of people that we've seen coming into this facility. It's been a great billboard for amplifying other county programs, not just our department stuff. So just wanted to say thanks to Erica too for all the work that she's doing to move it that way.
Thanks, Bryce. Okay, anything else from anyone? All right, we're done for today. Thanks, everyone.
Josh, or sorry, Dave. So at the public meeting today, the claims list will be unavailable. We just had a short staff in that auditor's office to produce that. So we'll do an updated one at next Thursday, the 14th meeting. So just a heads up that we won't have a claims list today.
Okay. We're done.
Thanks for coming.
everyone.
by.